Well, hello, Amanda.
Hi,
I
Charlene.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm excited for this session that we have today. What I want to discuss is the foreign buyers. Um, First of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Charlene Williams. I am a realtor, have been for close to 14 years now, and I'm with Real Estate Homeward. And I want to introduce Amanda Pivar, the lovely Amanda Pivar.
Thank you. And I'm Amanda Pivar. I'm a mortgage agent with Vine Group, and I've been an agent for over 8 years now. And I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Charlene.
Oh, you're most welcome. I enjoy our conversations, and I know a lot of people that do watch enjoy it as well. It's knowledge, and knowledge is great, right?
Knowledge is power.
Yes, absolutely. So, I have questions. I mean, as usual, you know me, I'm constantly calling you up with questions. So we just decided that we were going to film it, which is
Right.
great.
Hmm.
So, foreign buyers.
All
Now,
the talk
I'm
now.
I'm sorry.
All the talk in the media.
Yes, it has been.
Yep.
Um, I've noticed that, well, January 1st, the new rules came out, and does it negate the old rules of they had to put 20% down?
So, no, unfortunately, there are some exemptions for the foreign tax buyer who are still able to purchase here. When they purchase, they will still need to put that 20% down as the tax.
Okay, so they're putting the 20% down and they need to be able to qualify for the new rules that the government has.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things that we've seen changed is not anyone can come and purchase anymore. There's a very small pool of people who fall under the foreign investors who are able to buy. Those would be students, people who are on a work visa for a certain amount of time, diplomats, or anybody whose spouse is Canadian. So if you have a spouse who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, then you are exempt from the foreign tax.
Wow, that's pretty good to know because I know a lot of people out there are thinking, well, I'm a student, I can't purchase even though I am going to school here. Is there like a length of time that they have to be going to school here in order to purchase?
Yeah, so there are two different categories. So you'd either have to be here for 3 years or 5 years. There's a little bit of different rules depending on type of visa you have.
Okay, so wow, that's huge. That opens up a huge pool because we have a lot of international students here. Um, I'm going to say landlords don't particularly want to rent to students for the most part because they don't know they're international students. They don't know. So it would, if they are in a position to buy here, it would be a better solution for them.
It would, but unfortunately, they do have to actually be in Canada for a certain amount of time. So rent is important so they can get somewhat established here. But yes, once they've been here for a few years, especially if they're planning on staying in Canada, it's an excellent opportunity to purchase. One thing I do want to note though for the foreign investor now, the max that anyone can purchase for is 500,000. So unless you're a Canadian citizen, you're capped at a purchase price of 500.
Oh, okay. So you can only purchase up to 500,000
That's correct. Yes.
if you're a student or a foreign
Student,
buyer.
anyone, any foreign investor is capped at 500,000.
Really?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so we're talking way outside of the GTA if that is the
We
case.
are, we're talking, but that's still getting in. I mean, those areas that still are affordable under 500,000 are only going to become more popular, especially if the government puts something like a band of, or sorry, not a band, a cap of 500,000. Those areas, as foreign investors come in, are going to start moving out. I mean, there's schools all over the place. There's a school in Aurelia where you can actually buy for 500,000. So it's only going to help make those areas more popular.
That is very, very true. And it gets your foot in the market. So if you want to come back to the GTA at whatever point in time, you can.
Exactly. Once you've become a permanent resident. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is if a foreign investor buys, well, a foreign resident who's currently living here buys a property and does pay the tax and becomes a permanent resident within 5 years afterwards, they do get it rebated.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That we did not know either.
No, not a lot of people do. So if you actually, I personally love the Ontario website for the breakdown of all knowledge when it comes to the foreign investment. It's really good, and a lot of people don't review it when looking to purchase and are foreign investors. But yeah, you do get it back.
Wow, I think I'm going to put that link in our YouTube video so that people
Absolutely.
have it as a reference for sure. You did send it to me before.
Yep, it's really
Excellent.
good.
Thank you. Um, so this ban on foreign buyers is with a caveat.
Correct. Yes.
And the media seems to be running with, oh, a ban on foreign buyers, a ban on foreign buyers. And it's good to talk to someone like you who can explain that. And
Mhm.
now someone like me who you've
Yeah.
spoken to me and I totally understand it. So that's great.
And I think too, like one thing people are saying is, oh, ban on foreign investment. This is amazing. It gives people more opportunities to slow our market down. But in fact, foreign investment is only 4% of our market each year. That's small. We still have 96% of the market they're buying. Any seller who's like, oh man, should I not sell? Say I don't have a foreign buyer that could potentially be interested. You still have 96% of buyers that are going to be interested in that property and can still purchase in Canada.
And you're absolutely right. And thank you for touching on that. I had that conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. I said, it's not going to slow down the market. It's so minimal that it doesn't even make a dent. And it's the same thing when they put in the 20%, like so minimal, did not make a dent in the market, as you can see, over the time that we had that 20%.
Yeah,
So
it's so very true. I mean, we've seen a bit of a slowdown right now with the rates increasing. Um, but let's face it, what comes up must come down, and that's the same with
mhm.
interest rates. And putting the 4% of the market out of there when rates are coming down, it's not going to do anything to slow our market down. We're going to be back in bidding wars before we know it. And that's just people have been saving, people have been nervous to get in the market. They have additional money now for down payment. That bidding wars are definitely going to be a thing, I think, by the end of the year again.
Wow. Um, I wasn't even going to go there yet, but
Sorry, I don't know.
let's go there already. Like that to me, I was going to ask you that question,
Yeah.
right? So what do you see happening? I mean, the Bank of Canada meets in 2 weeks, I believe.
Yep, the 25th.
Um, sorry?
The 25th of January.
Yeah, so yeah, just about 2 weeks. What do you think they're gonna do? Do you, as you are a mortgage agent, do you expect that they will? I know we don't have crystal balls, and I'm trying not to
That's
put you
okay.
on the spot. Do you think that they're gonna leave things the same? Do you think they're gonna bring it down a little bit? Do you think they're gonna send it up?
I think we're gonna have another increase. I think we have to. Our inflation numbers, unfortunately, just weren't that great last month when they announced them. I think we'll see at least one more increase. And again, this is totally crystal ball. We don't have one, but I do think one more increase, Bank of Canada will sit back, see how that actually handles. Realistically, it takes 8 months to see how increases actually affect the market. Really hasn't been 8 months since we've had the really high increases. So I think one more is necessary to bring rates down, but then it's time for them to sit back, watch the market so that hopefully by the end of the year, we'll start seeing some rates come down.
So you're thinking the end of the year.
I am, yes. Now,
Okay.
keep in mind, this is only the variable rates. The fixed rates follow the bond yields. Bond yields have been really strong lately. So we actually have seen some of our fixed rates come down over the last couple of weeks. So early December, let's just say for a 5-year fix with 20% down, we were sitting around the 5.54 mark. We're now down to 5.29. So that is actually a pretty big drop within a 1 month period. And bond yields are still strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple months we see some more decreases with our fixed.
Okay. So this is good to know that it affects variables and
Yeah,
not fixed.
exactly. Two
Okay.
different factors that affect those rates.
That's amazing. Because I know some people have been in touch with me after watching our last video that they were concerned, should they lock in, or, they're coming up for renewal on a fixed.
Yeah,
What should they do? Like, should they, lock it in, or get a 2 year or a 3 year? So,
definitely short
um,
term. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I advised. I advised a short term, if you're renewing, but these things are good to know.
Absolutely. And I think our conversation with fixed versus variable is going to be very different in 6 months from now. I think once we start to see the Bank of Canada slow down on the increases and potentially start hinting towards some decreases, variable will probably be the better option because you'll be riding that wave down of rates going down, which is only going to help you save interest in the long run. We're not there quite yet, but I do think in 6 months, our conversation will be very different.
Well, we are hoping, right? I
Fingers
mean,
crossed.
because I am in a variable, and I'm really, it's difficult. It's difficult not knowing what my payments are going to be. And every month I'm getting a letter from the bank saying, oh, your new mortgage payment is so much more. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to budget for it. It's frustrating, and yeah, frankly, I don't even know what the word is.
Yeah, I think one thing that anyone who maybe when they actually purchased had done a variable but put less than 20% down payment, there have been some really interesting opportunities to break to go into a fixed rate at a much lower interest rate, but yet keep the payment where it currently is to help pay your principal off a lot sooner. Right
Mhm.
now, with anyone who put 20% or more down, we don't have as good of options for that. But for anyone who originally purchased high ratio in a variable, now's the time to maybe talk to your mortgage specialist to then look at what options are there to actually help pay my mortgage off sooner and decrease my amortization.
Okay. So, circling back then to our whole foreign buyers conversation that we were having, you can still buy if you're a foreign buyer um with restrictions.
Exactly. So if you fall under the very few, there's not a whole lot of exemptions, then yes, you are still able to purchase, but you will still be entitled to that tax. Unless your spouse
Okay.
is Canadian. Unless you have a spouse who's a permanent resident or Canadian, that's the only way that you don't pay the tax.
Okay. So, I'm gonna wrap this up, but I wanted to ask if it was a cash sale. Is that a possibility at all?
It doesn't change anything, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So if it was a cash sale, we wouldn't be dealing with a mortgage agent, let's say.
exactly. You wouldn't be dealing with a mortgage agent. You would still be paying a tax and you still cannot purchase if you are not actually falling under the exemption category.
Okay, excellent.
Thank
Thanks, Amanda.
you so
That
much
was
for having me,
amazing.
Charlene.
Oh, you're most welcome. That was amazing. And I'm looking forward to the next session.
Me as well, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye now.
Bye.